and we're gonna go right at it. All right, so we are live, man. I want to thank you guys for joining us on Facebook Live, also on YouTube Live. This is your boy Adrian Townsend, and we're here to do three things. You know what time it is. We're here to uplift, educate, and elevate. I got my brothers on the line right now, as you see. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get them on so you guys can check them out and see some of my blessed brothers that are here with us today. All right, let me go ahead and get it on here. All right. So yeah, man, like I was saying, tonight, 9 p.m., we wanted to talk about Black fatherhood in America in today's climate. Okay, this is an open discussion. It's not scripted. We're coming straight off the cuff, and the Lord laid it on my spirit to really come with you guys with some brothers of mine to talk about some topics that I think that is going to be vital for many people out there, man. So I want to introduce my brothers on the line. So guys, if you don't mind, name, background, obviously you guys are fathers, but kind of, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family if you feel led, and then we'll pass it right on. Jamal, you can go first, brother.
Yes, sir. Jamal King, born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina. I live in Berkeley County now. I'm married, beautiful, wonderful, blessing of a wife, my treasure, Shawnee's King. Father of two, daughter, teen, and my son, 3. Black father.
Awesome, man. Awesome, brother. Jude, what's going on, brother?
Hey, it's going, man. Thank God, man. I'm Jude. I'm Jude Washington. Got a wife. My wife, Hassan Washington. Got between me and her, we got 9 kids all together. Got two sons.
Yes, Lord.
Right here, I'm born and raised right here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yes.
And just been through a lot, and we just moving and staying in God. Staying in God. Praise this life, man. Thank God for the renewing of life, man.
Yes.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Well, I'll tell you guys, man. I start with my brother Jamal, man. Back in the day, we did business together, and it was kind of like a brotherhood, man. And we were always brothers in spirit, man. I knew this guy, man, before he got married. Incredible man of God. Man, integrity, strength. He exemplifies Black excellence, and to see his growth right now, man, is absolutely incredible right now. So definitely want to give that shout out to my brother Jamal King. Also, Jude, man. Obviously, the man on fire, man. I don't know if you guys seen Jamal. Have you seen that movie Denzel called Man on Fire?
Of course.
Yeah, that's my brother Jude right there, man on fire, man. He loves the Lord. Yes, Lord, man. He loves the Lord and not afraid to share it. And met this brother about, man, how long we've been going to the Harvest Center? Probably like, oh man, how long? Man, it's been a while.
About 10 11 years now.
Yeah, 10, 11 years, man. And man, shoot. I mean, we've grown with each other in the Lord, man, and God has blessed our brotherhood, man, and incredible guy, supportive. And another example of Black excellence, representation for any Black father out there, man, that may feel that it's impossible to come out of the Murray pit, as the Bible says, and allow him to establish your goings, man. So wanted to introduce my brothers that's on the line with me right now. So man, let's get right up into it. For those who are on, man, I want you guys to look at the topics real quick. This is what we're going to be talking about. Kind of what I came out of my spirit, man. It's called Bruh Get Up, as you see on my shirt. Bruh Get Up. What it came out of, my wife and I, we actually had a conversation about how challenging it is for a Black male in America's society to level up in many aspects, by any means is no excuse, but it's reality. Let's be real. So we're going to talk about that today. And the purpose of this conversation, family, is just to simply empower Black men out there that they can be great examples for the next generation. So the first topic, brothers, we're going to be talking about the importance of Black fathers in the home. Okay, the importance of Black fathers in the home, man. So how I take it, like for real, for me, I grew up in a 500 square foot home. My mother did the best she can do to keep me from out of harm's way. But you can come susceptible to your environment, and that's exactly what happened to me. My father wasn't around. As a matter of fact, he was addicted to drugs. But I never really felt the male impact in my life to now, knowing that I'm a father of 3 boys and a girl, and also a husband. So I know the importance. I couldn't imagine my children, without me, and vice versa for my wife. But just that father figure in the house is so imperative, man. So I wanted to get you guys' feedback, man. What do you guys say about that? What do you think? Why do you think it's important for the fathers to be in the house, the home, in this generation?
Well, I give you an example with me. From the time that when my mom, when she was pregnant with me. So now my real dad, he didn't want nothing to do with me. He told my mom to go ahead and have a abortion with me. So she was in the process of doing it. And matter of fact, she walked from downtown to MUSC Hospital when it was county. I think it was county hospital back then. Back in our days. So she went and everything, but she said she made a mistake or whatever, didn't sign the paper. So then when she didn't sign the paper, the lady came and said, "Well, you didn't sign the paper." She said that's when it's like she heard God's voice say, "Oh, don't you do it? Don't you do it?" So she said, "Well, she got up from she got up out of the hospital bed and just ran down the street, and she never didn't want nothing to do with my real dad or well." But at the same time, the dad I called dad now, my stepdad, that I call him I look at him as my real dad. But if the real dad is not there present in the home or wherever, it can cause the son or the daughter to turn somewhere else for love. It can cause them to turn to streets for love. It can cause them to turn to drugs and alcohol. It just will cause them to turn to all different kind of things for love. And you think love would be in the alcohol. You think love would be in the drugs. You think love would be in hanging out with your homeboys or hanging out with girls or wherever. You think that's what love is at, but the whole time you looking for the love of a father, because the father ain't there in the home. So the whole time you running around, you doing all this, your life is just going in the wrong way. You committing crimes and doing all this. I'm talking from myself, but this is what I experienced.
Right.
Yeah.
What I experienced until I came, and one day the scripture said, the scripture that says, I can't know what I say, but I'll quote it. It said that come out from among them, and I'll be a God unto you. Separate yourself, and I'll be a God unto you. So that was God was just saying to me, like, okay, I'll be a father to you. I'll be to a father to you if you come out from among them, come out from among the sinners, come out from among the streets, come out from among the drug dealers. It'll cause your life to go totally in the wrong way if the father is not in there in the children's life.
Jude, before we go to Jamal, man, incredible. Yeah, like elaborate on your testimony, brother.
Yeah.
Like so what happened with me was got shot in the head. I got shot in the head, for being, like I said, well, basically just being out there doing it, because this had a real father love. Even though I knew my stepdad loved us, I knew he loved us with all his heart. But where guidance is at, if no guidance is there, then like I said, you go into the streets. No matter
Definitely.
what,
Definitely.
no matter what, if nobody telling you, hey, wait to marriage to have kids. If nobody tell you, oh, go to college, if nobody
Yeah.
say, hey, go make sure you finish school. There's no guidance in the house. So I didn't have guidance in my home. Yeah, my mom and family, they were spiritually. I had that, but didn't have the fullness of it. Yeah,
Yes,
they'll say,
yes, yes.
yeah, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do that. But I didn't get the fullness of it. But I got shot in the head in the year of 2000, April 13, 2000. Being around in the wrong crowd, hanging around in the wrong street, jacking, um, just just doing things that I ain't supposed to be doing. This when the devil got your mind, he got your mind. And if the devil can get in your flesh and use your flesh, you're gonna do whatever he tell you to do. If you don't got God, if you don't got no guidance. So I got
That's
shot in the
definitely.
head. I been in jail for like 13 months for 3 armed robberies. God, He brought me out of that, and just a whole lot, man. So I just give God the glory, man.
That's
Awesome,
awesome.
man. Awesome, brother. Awesome, man. And God has really had his hand on you, my brother.
Mhm.
Definitely. Jamal, what's going on, man? Like, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the importance of a father in the house, man? You
Well,
being a black.
me being a father, a lot like Jude, man. Like growing up, my father, he was around. Like we knew who he was. We knew about him, stuff like that. And we spent the nights time to time here and here, but it wasn't what we needed. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't daily. It wasn't consistent. It wasn't like Jules said, something like we can have that fullness on the inside of us saying like, hey, that's our daddy. The love we wanted from him was
Mm,
not the same love that we was giving him.
Mhm.
And we interpreted that through presence, not presence like gifts, but presence as in your body,
being there. Yeah.
being there with us, like not coming to my graduation or
Mhm.
the football games or like when I had to get my surgeries, it came to a point to where I didn't want to tell him anything, and I didn't, because
Mm,
it's like, what's the use? But I think the importance of having a father, a black father, for us being in the household is that we it's our opportunity to become the message and not the messenger. Our
Right.
legacy is
mm.
going to be the messenger.
Mhm.
But let our life, the way we live and how we live, be the message, so our children can grow up and see what we did to provide for them. Like
Yes,
like
yes.
one of the things that I can appreciate with my mother is that we didn't know we were struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah,
didn't know she had to work as hard as she had to work. All we
Right.
knew
yeah.
when she leave and go to work. Oh, we playing games in the kitchen, in the house. We leaving out the back door to go play with our cousins. Like it was just all fun for us. But Mama
Yeah.
laid that work down, and then not having my father there the way that we wanted him to be there, it created, like, it almost planted a seed in me
Mhm.
and my siblings, and it grew over time. Like it almost like became pretty much resentment, and
Mm,
or like we really grew up not really liking him, like
Mhm.
like not really, but
yes, yes.
over time, what I'm saying, we understood that. I understood, just me personally, him not being there in my life, it contributed, not how I wanted it to, but it contributed, and that contribution, it showed when I became a father. And I
Right.
said,
Ooh, yeah,
everything
yeah.
everything that he was, it's my goal not to be
Mm,
that for my children,
Right.
my
yes.
personal goal. And then here's the
Mm,
thing, even with that, when I became a man, and just like 22, 23, when I became a man, I say, you know what? I need to forgive my father, because
Mhm.
wow.
I
Wow.
need
Wow.
I need to go to him, talk to him,
Mhm.
and forgive him, so I can release that seed that was planted by the
Right.
devil,
Mm,
by myself, like I didn't have my mother wasn't bitter, like she didn't trash talk or bash them like that, you know what I'm saying? But we saw these things growing up. We saw this, and we interpreted it for ourselves. Now, granted, God rest my godfather, he died in 2018 in November, man. My uncle Andre, he was that guy. Like, he was that guy that I saw and said, man, he pretty much helped raise me and all my cousins along with our truck. He come home tired. He'll nail a milk crate to the tree, and he'll sit back there and like every time he score baskets, he'll call us nicknames, stuff like that. My brother Jason, a lot of my coworkers, man, at my job currently now, Joey Capers, Charlie Shine, Jerry Brewster, Terry Grant, Stanley Fields, like these men, I grew up watching and seeing how men operated. You know what I'm saying? Not from my own father, but through the men I met as I grew up. The lessons I learned. But forgiving my father was probably the best thing that I had done, and because it allowed me to free myself from possibly being what he was to my children. But I would want forgiveness from my children if I had done that. So that's the main reason I did it, and it freed me, and we have a wonderful relationship now. We talk a lot. I love him dearly. But black fathers are so important in the house because, like I said, we have to be the message to our children in everyday life. And it can be tough sometimes because sometimes, it's a burden. Like, it can be a burden, but it's a blessing. Like, sometimes, like, we don't want to, like, take the high road, or we don't want to, like, sometimes I want to spaz out. I want to punch a wall. I want to stay out all night. Come home. Like, it's real. Like, it's real. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, what do my kids see when I live my life?
Right.
What does my son see when he sees me every day? My daughter, she lives with her mother. But when I pick up my daughter, what does my daughter see when she see me? What does she think about when someone says my name? If someone says something about me in the street, how would she know that it's true or not?
Wow.
So I mean, being a father, a black father at that, being the message to my children, that's the most important thing for me, and being a black father in the household.
Man, you both said a mouthful, man. To piggyback, on what you guys were saying, man. One of the things that stuck out the most to me, man, is forgiveness. Like, forgiveness is like so, like, it's so imperative. Like, even sometimes, even to this day, like currently right now, like I always tell my wife that I really don't feel like my mom would mention my father's name, or my wife would say, "Hey, reach out to your father," and I was like, you know what? I'm so used to him not being around. So I'm really, so it really, I don't right now as it sits, I don't feel that it's affecting me, but I do see that it could, be, it could be something that's subconscious, something that I haven't, haven't yet emerged yet, but I still have to deal with it. So that forgiveness piece, man, is imperative. And also, man, like being what he's not. Like, I remember my kids. I remember my son had a track, like he started track, I believe, last year. And man, I made it. We made it our business that we were going to be to everything, every single time. And even to his school gatherings, like every time he has something going on in the school, or any of my kids, I'm going to show up. And most of the time, I'm the only black father there. Like, let's be real, Jamal, I know you've been on that tip for a second, being present. Jude, I know you've been on that tip for a second, man. But like, so what do you guys, when you guys are in those positions to be that example for your children as a black father, do you guys get like a reaction out of people when they see you with your children? Because the stigma is that black men are not with their kids, right? What kind of reactions y'all be getting? Jude, I know you about to say something.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, sometimes some people don't have to say that. You know, the expressing the meaning on their face
Yeah,
tells a lot. Of when they see it,
yeah,
they'll just
yeah,
look at you, and they'll glance at you, and
yeah.
they'll crack a smile on it. So you know, right. If you see somebody crack the smile, you know, in their mind they're saying something positive about you. Say
Definitely,
they frown. If they frown up at you, they're saying something negative. But if they see you
definitely.
with your kids, then they smile. Then they're saying something positive.
Yeah,
Concerning you watching the kids, and then somebody else to be like, "Oh, these your kids?" Or I say, "Yeah,
yeah,
got them all, and you know, I got a few more at home. You know, you
yeah,
know, I got some growing. You know, out of school and
yeah,
everything. So it's like, you know, let's just carry a conversation. You know what I'm saying, and
yeah.
bring about a joy inside of you, because you know when people see you, because back then we didn't get that. You know, I didn't saw that
You're right about
coming up
that.
with parents and
At all.
with fathers, and you know, something I wanted to say earlier about, you know, rejection is a powerful thing. You know, I felt
Mm,
that from the womb. So when I came
mm,
out of the womb, it's like I came in this world being rejected. But you know one
yes.
thing, I like what Jamal said about forgiveness with his dad. I never had nothing against my real dad.
Yeah.
Never did.
Yeah.
I see him today, I love him, hug him, you know what I'm saying, talk to him. I never had nothing against. So I thank God for guarding my heart from unforgiveness on that.
Unforgiveness.
So yeah, cause about the seed, yeah, man. Cause I saw that coming up. When I started to have kids, like I would go to jail and everything. And if I be in jail, that's a form of rejection, and I can't even get to my
Mm,
kids. Oh, why? So after I came to the
Wow.
Harvest Center, it's like this cycle ended up breaking off of me
yes.
with the rejection, because you know the seed. If the fathers they plant the seed, just like they plant the seed to have the kids, they can also
Yes.
plant seeds in the spirit realm of rejection, of unforgiveness. You know, just bad things. So just want to
Mm,
say that.
That's real
man, that's
talk.
powerful, bro.
Mm.
That's powerful. How about you, Jamal? Have you been getting like reactions? Like, what kind of reactions you would get out
Man,
there?
man, look, man. My daughter, when she went to Lambs Elementary, every day I would be the parent to pick that child
I
up, and it's
remember.
like,
Yeah, I
man,
remember.
look. Look, I would pick her up from school, man, and it's like they be in the cafeteria waiting. I'll come in through the side door. Every single time, she would look for me, and when I walk through the door, she would light up and run, take a
Mm,
full dash, and scream "Daddy" the whole way to me.
Right.
All the teachers in that cafeteria, man, they looking at me
yeah,
like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like that's wonderful.
yeah, yeah.
Like I took pride in that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes,
you know,
Yeah. There you go.
it felt a little too good sometimes, you know, but it's
yeah.
like I take pride in that. Even when I pick up my son from daycare, you know, he'll see me and he'll run to me. But you know, the reactions, it's a testament, you know, to what we really
Mm,
do. You know what I'm saying? Like s- people tell me that, you know, or like they might say some things, you know, say, hey, thank you, man. So, praise God, you know, I'm glad I'm in position to be, you
mm,
know, because it's like it's not validation for not for trying not to be what my father wasn't to me. It's just the
Mhm.
beginning, because these kids are
yes.
still growing. I'm still parenting, you know, so I got a long way to go. So I don't take it for granted, but at the same time, I say, you know, I'm on the right start, because
Right.
Mm,
people, you know, even in school, they say, "Oh, Jamal, man, I think you'd be a great husband," and I'm like, I I received it, but I didn't really like think that far. You know, I'm like,
yeah.
dude, I'm in high
Let me
school.
master
I ain't
this.
thinking about marriage. You know, I want to go live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I want to go clean. You know, all that
You
yeah,
stuff.
ain't ready for
But
that.
you know, it's like long and behold, here I am. You know, married, you know, with kids and stuff
yes.
like that. And
Unto the
it's
Lord.
it's
Right.
it's it's been a
That's
blessing.
good.
Mm,
Somebody saw something in me that obviously I didn't see, and that's normally how it starts. You know, someone says something to you, and you don't see what they're saying. You know,
Right.
like most
that's right.
parents, like we do with our kids. Our kids, they don't see, they don't understand what we're telling them. But they say,
No.
keep living, just keep living. One day,
Just
Yep.
you
keep
know,
living,
while your
right?
mama in your face, one day,
Yeah,
keep on
One
living.
day.
You
Yep.
know, but
yeah. That
you know
thing in your face, right?
yeah, that finger, just keep
Yeah,
on living. You know, but yeah, man, the reactions that they do encourage, that they actually encourage. You know, because sometimes you might be having a bad day or a tough day at work. You know, mental stress, physical stress, so on and so forth, and someone just says, "Hey, man, you know, I see what you're doing, such and such and such." You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of you. You know, and it does mean a lot. It does mean a
Yeah.
lot. And then, even us as black fathers, you know what I'm saying? Let's encourage each other, because there's nothing, there's nothing unmanly for me to say, Adrian, man, look, brother, you're younger than me. You know what I'm saying? But you're a better leader. You were equipped to be a leader a lot sooner than I was. You know what I'm saying? And not for children, but for people. And it led to parenthood. So I remember, when you and Keontae, when I first met you guys, I'm like, okay, they're young, they already married. And I'm like, already, and still married, still going strong. But man, it's like we can be examples to each other. Like, I'm sure there's something I can learn from Jude. I'm sure, there's no doubt I can learn from Jude, and like, just to be like, oh man, have so much pride. Man, get rid of the pride, man. We got to lose that. Link up with each other more than anything.
Right.
But,
real talk.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. But the reactions, they do validate what you do, and they encourage me, man. They really do.
Yes,
definitely, man. I got a comment here, man.
Awesome.
Cobb says, Jamal King, you chose to filter out what you needed and allowed to help you grow as a father to your children. You broke the vicious cycle and stopped it from aspiring down to your offspring, man. That's awesome from Miss Cobb, man. Definitely give her a shout out, man, for that word of encouragement, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, man. Really just kind of reciprocating that, that breaking that cycle, and sometimes, man, it's a hard thing too. But like you said, sometimes you get frustrated. Sometimes you get, you can get out of hand, man. But God always lets you come to your senses, come to yourself, and really let you give you that time, really, to say, okay, this is your limit, right? So you brought something to me, guys. Like, how do you both of you guys are married. Like, what do you think? Jamal, you've been married for how long, sir?
4 years.
4 years. Jude, how long you been married?
For 6 years.
6 years, man. So so what has the black women done for you fellas? For me, I would say flat out, Jamal, you met me when we were like 19, man. Like, for real, I couldn't see any level of maturity until I got married. It's like an anointing that falls upon you when you like make that commitment. It's just everything just starts to expedite.
Yes.
As far as blessings is concerned, man, kind of share it with the people, man. Like, what has your black queens been able to, help you guys out with, man? I know the Lord has blessed you guys with beautiful wives and supportive wives, man. Kind of tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'll start with the money situation first. I'll spend money. I'll spend $150 on a pair of shoes or whatever. So she'll be like, $150 on one pair of shoes, man. You could just buy 2 pair of shoes out of there, 3 pair of shoes out of that, and still buy a couple of other outfits that I had to like think, I said, well, she's right. She's right. So she taught me that at first now. And then she taught me that, and it's like, what you wear, this how you wear it, and when we still look at it. So she taught me a lot about dressing differently also. Not like, well, you don't want to dress like everybody else or whatever, because I'm just coming out of the streets and everything like that. You don't want to dress like everybody else, have the slow style. I say, but then I already had that desire in me to like, I don't want to dress like that no more. I want to dress, this type of way now or whatever. But when she brought it to me, it was just like a confirmation, like, okay, yeah. So it was easy for me to step into it. So the next thing she taught me is about having wisdom, learning not to always speak out this with the because like you would chop them down, you know what I'm saying? So she also taught me that to hold your mouth, you know what I'm saying? Keep you like chill out, man. I mean, it's like So I see why you got to get a woman. They take a lot of things out of you from the streets. Just things like that, man. Like what else? She taught me a lot, man, y'all, man. Taught me a lot. She taught me how to study because I never didn't know how to study the Bible like that. She taught me that. What else she taught me? She just taught me how to. She just basically she taught me how to be a father. Hey, when call your kids, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? She just keep me on point. That's about it.
Accountability.
That's real.
Yeah, that accountability, Jamal. You sounded you agreed with that holding your mouth.
Man, yeah, man, yeah. And I mean, just to piggyback, even what I said a little while ago, people always told me, "Oh, Jamal, you be a good husband, man. You're gonna make a fine husband one day, so on and so forth." Growing up, people always told me what I could be. Like they always say, "Oh, man, I think you'd be a great father," or "I think you would be a great husband," or "I think you'd be a great business," or "I think you'd be a great worker or technician," such and so on and so forth. Man, I got married, and my wife, she broke down a brick wall that was built up by all the stuff people have been telling me.
Wow.
And she sat me down in a chair and had this big mirror and put it right there. Put it right there. I mean, because it's like like what I was used to hearing all the time, I wasn't hearing from her. And now I'm looking at her like, I'm looking at her like,
man, I know how that
must
is,
be
bro.
crazy. What's wrong with this woman, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to dial it back a little. I said, what's wrong with this woman? But, man, like, I probably said my second year of marriage, man. Like, I really had to stop. And my brother, Pastor Jason King, he always say, do self-inventory. I had to do some self-inventory. And I said, everything that the people was telling me, that's great, but it ain't got nothing to do with my marriage. We got to make this marriage what we want it to be. So I had the reality check. Yes, very, very much so. You had to start putting bricks, and building up this house for this marriage, what we want it to be on our standards, keeping God first. But when you say this is how we going to do it, you know what I'm saying? Not what you want or so on and so forth. And then also not having a father figure, I will always be there, or I will always go out my way to help, whether it be family, friends, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And then, my wife made me realize, ain't nothing wrong with that. But you should always, home come first.
Yeah, definitely.
Home come
that's
first.
Strong. Yeah.
You know,
that's strong.
Yeah. And I was thinking, and she didn't say it like that, but that's exactly what she said. And then I had to realize, sometimes, I'm not always right. I'm a nice guy. I'm laid back. I love to have fun, but that don't mean I'm always right. And just because I say it with a smile and nicely, don't mean that is right. I can do that and be wrong.
Definitely.
I had to understand that I am wrong, and God blessed me with a wife that she wasn't afraid to challenge me when I'm wrong. She always put me on blast. You know what I'm saying? I had to stop looking at it as her attacking my pride, and also
that's it.
Pride. It ain't a pride thing, man. Like pride, that's one thing I did not allow to overtake my marriage, man. Because the first 2 years, like I was like, well, why? I would question everything. I didn't trust her like I should. Now, man, dude, babe, the money in the account, I ain't worried about it.
Make sure the bills
paid. All stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we got a partnership. We got a partnership.
That's it.
Like,
that's it right there.
Oh, this works. Okay. Let's do it like that. Let's do it like that. So I mean, that's something I definitely learned from being married to my wife, man. And I don't know if I was with any other woman that it would happen this way, So I definitely learned that she exposed me. She exposed the truth about me to myself that I did not allow myself to see because of everything I was being told. So that was one of the biggest things.
Man, you guys got some great. Listen, listen, I'm a piggyback. Like Jude said something that was powerful along with you, Jamal. But Jude mentioned that, his wife kind of like, really kind of, ushered him and said, like, well, brought confirmation to him, like, hey, listen, you can go about doing things a little different. You can accomplish the same goal, but you can go about it a little different. I think that was something, for my wife as well, that she, really helped me. King said something powerful where he said, like, the wife is almost like, if you got the right one, it's almost like put a mirror right in front of you. Whoever you think you are, whoever you think you is in your head, it will allow you to see yourself, man. And you know what? And when you get to the place, and I think a lot of men out there, a lot of black men out there are fighting that, but fighting that is fighting growth. Yes. Like fighting that is fighting growth, because it is not until you see, okay, this is what she's trying to show. She's trying to show me who I really am, right? Despite how you feel, she's showing you, okay, here's what I see. I'm the closest person to you. I'm with you daily, on a daily basis. Like, this is what's going on, and this is what's being shown. So I want you to see it this way so we can get past and move forward. And I think a lot of black men and a lot of the husbands in general feel that their wives, in a sense, are enemies to them.
Right.
Enemies to them, man. And I think that's something that must, like, like my wife always say, partnering on purpose, POP, partnering on purpose and partnering for a reason. It's so vital, man. So incredible, man. Let's slide it to the next topic, family. The next topic is preparing the minds of the next generation. All right, preparing the minds for the next generation. So, fellas, like, man, 2020 was a crazy year so far. Yes, it's been how can I say this? It's been destined to be this way. Like, I don't see it getting any better. According to the Bible that we read, these things are going to come to fruition. Cultures are going to come against cultures. Right. They're going to be turbulent times ahead. So, being that we know that this is that generation, like, you having young children, like, what's your thought process on, like, because I know Jude. I want to definitely shout out Jude. Jude, you got a college student this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Congratulations on that. Definitely, brother. Definitely, man.
That's what's up, man.
But really, like raising children in this, like, how do we prepare the minds of our kids? Like, obviously, it's totally different than when we grew up in. Like, things are like so different. Like, we have to expose them to a lot more quicker. Like, how do you think we prepare the minds of our children and our kids for the next generation?
But okay. I'll go. I think, and you just said it, we got to expose them to these things a lot quicker, because, when we was growing up, our parents, they would keep us away from certain things. They wouldn't let us go, well, don't go play on that street, because we're going over there. You keep telling me about it, I'm going to grow curious about it, and I'm going to want to go on that street,
Yeah.
It's just like, exposing our kids to it, having those conversations with them. Like my daughter know every time I pick her up, we don't listen to music. I hug, give her a kiss on the cheek, ask her how we went to school, when she was in school or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then we're going to have a talk from Ladson to North Charleston, or now Ladson up the corner. We just going to have a talk, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, either from what I'm texting or when I call and we talk, so on and so forth, like, you have to know. It's almost like, how to say, I'm gonna put you on game, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you 14, but you need to understand things that's going on in this world. You need to understand things going on around you and your community. You need to understand your situation, because typically in the black household without a father or one parent, the oldest child got to grow up almost immediately. Like, they almost can't enjoy anything because they got to be the partner to the parent. You know what I'm saying? A lot like my brother was. My brother Jason, you know what I'm saying? Then when he moved up, my brother Gerard, you know what I'm saying? Then when he moved up, then it was my turn. But we was a little older. But like we have to expose our children to these things so that when it happens, they have some understanding. They won't be completely lost. Like we can teach them everything we know, but it won't be everything they know going forward in life.
That's good.
And like I gotta do that with a 14-year-old now, and then I gotta switch the script and do it with a 3-year-old, to a certain extent, because he don't care about nothing but playing sword fight with the swords, eating snacks, and running through the sprinklers. That's all he care about right about now. So, and like, ain't much I can do for him but be there and just be an example. But as far as my daughter, man, like, and she's a young woman, she's a teen, but I even got a low age with her, and I said, baby, I understand. Like, this is the world. You got human trafficking. You got people getting kidnapped, not seeing their families no more. You have grown men who see you. And my daughter, she's a little bit up. She got a little body on her. You have grown men who look at you, and they put you in their minds for their desire.
Right. Yeah.
They just to do and take whatever they want, and then cast you away. And like with no care. Don't care what they're taking from you. Don't care the innocence that they rob you of. I said, baby, listen, like this is real. Like this is real. You might be curious about sex. You might be curious about cigarettes. You might be curious about a certain crowd of people, so on and so forth. I always tell my daughter, and Miles Monroe, he said something. I don't know if this is the exact word. I said, baby, I heard Miles Monroe say that. He said, God didn't create you to fit in with the crowd or to blend in. He created you to stand out from the crowd. And that takes courage to do sometimes, because sometimes you don't know if you're doing the right thing. Sometimes you don't know about it. And listen, exposing my daughter early, it helps. And like I said, I won't be able to catch everything. I won't, because technology now. My daughter, I told her straight up off the rip, no social accounts. You don't need it. You don't need it. I don't care what your friends got. You don't need it, because you got predators on the internet. You got predators in social media. You know what I'm saying? Now, I show her stories from news clips and articles. I show her these things. I say, listen, this is how real this is. This could be you. Like the baseball player who was texting a young girl. I can't remember the guy's name, and I probably don't even want to say it, but it was a Major League Baseball player. He was, relations with a young girl. He'd drive over to the house, do this and do that, so on and so forth. And I mean, the girl's parents had no idea. That's the worst thing that can possibly happen. Wow. These things happen, and we don't know, because we try to be involved in everything. But, it's like those little cracks that we might turn our back for a second, and they can easily happen, For my children, I expose my daughter early,
I agree with you.
But I exposed her. I said, and this is what I did with my daughter. My son was maybe a month, 3 weeks old, and he just one of these days he was just crying. I said, Janaya, are you curious about sex? She was like, and she honestly said, she like, I mean, I thought about it, but like nothing that serious. And as my son was crying, I picked him up and I said, here, that's what happened with sex. And I walked off. I didn't come back. Crying. I said, that's what it's going to lead to. Think about it. That's what it's going to lead to. But that's what I did, man.
Man, listen, before you go, I gotta piggyback. Listen, that exposing early thing is so vital, man. Like,
yes, it does.
My sons come home from school knowing more than what we expose them to, man. Like, they know dances, they know music. Like, I'm saying, man, how do you learn all this in school? Like, in second grade, third grade, I'm like, man, like, my teacher played it. Like, come on, like. So it comes to the point where we gotta have that conversation with them early, like before they get to the school, before they get to, their friends, before, like, they should be educated enough to make sound decisions earlier in this generation, man. Definitely, man. Jude, what you got, brother? Like, what do you
I totally agree with Jamal. I'm in that same room in my home with my daughters also. They know not to go to a stranger car. They know not to get in the car with a stranger. They know not to take anything from no man, none of that. And one I had something experience. You have to be you have to go through some experience to be really a teacher.
Yes, sir.
My two daughters, they're 18 years old. When they was 18 years old, I went to pick them up. So I said, when they got in the car, I said, yeah, they've been to school. They've been they've been 17 in the 11th grade and the 12th grade. I said, y'all didn't have no sex in it. Oh no, Daddy, we ain't having no sex. Oh no. So I've been before this. I used to always talk to them about don't have no sex at no young age. Wait to marriage, to have sex. Wait to have sex. So this particular day, I telling them that in the car. I say, well, somebody in this car having sex. Oh, Daddy, we ain't having no sex. We ain't having no sex. So I think it was like 3 or 4 months later. My daughter, grandmama called me, and her mama called me. Oh, your daughter pregnant. All right, your daughter pregnant. I already had know who was now because I discerned and picked when I picked them up in the car. I already had no. So I've been waiting for her to call me. I never called her or whatever. I waited for her to call me. She took a long time to call me because her mind was, "Dang, Daddy done tell me all this. Daddy done tell me not to have sex." She was afraid to call me and tell me that she was pregnant, because I done told her all about sex, all about waiting to marriage. So, I guess so when I did talk to her, she was like, yeah, just quiet on the phone because she already know what I had instilled her, and she went out of order. So I said, well, you done that. I said, good thing you still can graduate. She graduated. But I said, look at you let this little boy mess up your life. Now you got a little baby, the baby to take care. Now you can't do what you say you want to do, but what you still can't do because they ain't never let to do nothing. But I said, but look, you can't complete the goals that you said you was going to complete because now you got a hindrance, but not really a hindrance. But then you could have to know how to maneuver around us and keep going and keep going and don't let a baby stop you. And we can tell them, we can instill in them, but they going at the end of the day they're going to do what they want to do.
That's real.
But the prepare the minds of because like I said, experience is the best teachers. So what I do, I just discern them and just. Well, hey, when I've been out in the street, I just saw it coming from me. When I used to do this, I used to do that, you know what I'm saying? But then after I did this, it was consequences after that. I ended up getting locked up, you know what I'm saying? I ended up going to jail for this. So every little thing, I call some mindset, putting his mindset, well, I better not do that. Because the consequences, I go into jail, So he stays out of trouble. He don't get in no trouble. And that's why he's in college, So it's like, they listen well, but yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, man. You just have to keep planting them seeds, keep planting them good seeds inside of them.
Yeah, man, and the fact that you said that, and you got a great dynamic because you got one that's in college, several of them that you still have high schoolers now, Jude.
Yeah.
Yeah, high schoolers, awesome. And you got a middle school, or you out of middle school?
No, I got elementary.
Elementary, so that's a wide range, right? So man, that's so incredible. That's wisdom in itself. Mm-hmm. Like you're seeing it from all aspects, man. Like both of you guys got daughters. Like, man, I'm listening to it. Like I got a 1-year-old daughter, and I'm like, man, I remember
it's coming.
Y'all saw that movie Taken, right? I got
skills. Oh yeah.
Listen, man, I couldn't imagine that, but the Lord will give strength. But to piggyback on what you guys said, man, like what I feel is really preparing them, especially my boys, black men, or they're about to develop themselves into black men, and I already know based on the color of their skin, based on statistics, what the world would say, that they would be categorized in a certain fashion. So I tend to frame their mentality to already be ahead of the game. Like for me, it was like really building their self-confidence real early. Like every morning when we were riding, because we dropped them off to school. Like like it started off where 3 years ago, it was like, so what are you? And they wouldn't know what to say. And I would tell them what to say. Like I would tell them to say, you know, hey, I am a champion. I am God's child. I have dominion. Like then they would repeat. Then the second year, I would ask them, what are you? Then they would say it. You know, I wouldn't have to say anything. And then, or I'm saying, hey, I'm the smartest in the school. I help, I serve. It would be words of affirmations in the morning. And then the third year, I would say it, and then they would say it, and then I would say, what else?
What else?
I would let them create their own words.
That's good. That's good.
And I just want to see where they were mentally and see how it was working. And my son said one day, he said, I'm an encourager. I said, man, encourager. That's you know, he's 4 years old, you know. Wow. He's an encourager. So he's already going to school with the mindset of like, listen, like I tell my family, like, you know, we got a vision, like, listen, everywhere we go, we do three things. Like, I don't care if we are in the church. I don't care if we in Puerto Rico. I don't care if we, you know, at the restaurant. We here to do three things: uplift, educate, elevate. Like, they know that. So when they go to school, that's on their mindset. But that blessed me to know, like, if we fill these children with the appropriate words, man, and build their self-confidence, and also, you know, creating, even if they don't start businesses, like creating that mindset of an entrepreneur, like creating that mindset of like, listen, you know, if they take jobs away from you, if things ain't working out well, you can still put your bootstraps up and develop yourself and legitimately come up with ways to take care of your family, man. So I think that's vital. I definitely think that's vital, man.
Yes.
Yeah, so that blessed me, man. That definitely blessed me, man. So let's transition to the last topic for tonight, man. Is you know, how do we encourage Black fathers today? How do we encourage Black fathers today? I think that this is probably, you know, a segment into this discussion, family, that I believe, as we've seen many out there. I've had people tell me that that there's no discrimination for Black men. It's not harder for Black men. And these are people who are obviously not Black men. But it's just crazy the fact that people are not seeing it. But how do we encourage them? Because I know I was in that position where I almost gave up on myself, right? Like, so as a Black man, as a Black father, there's a lot of men out there that feels that because society is saying that, all right, you're illiterate, you can't read, you can't write, you have no skills, you can't bounce back, you belong in a cell, you belong dead. Like, all of these things are weighing on a lot of our Black brothers out there. So what do you guys say? Like, how do we encourage them in this season, man, to pull themselves out of the situation, man?
The first thing, go ahead, Jamal.
No, go ahead, boss man.
Okay. First thing is I'll encourage them about letting them seek out who they are first, you know, because it start with them first. So you have to know who you are first. So if you don't know who you are first, then it's going to be a whole mix up or whatever. So your mindset, it takes a mindset of first knowing who you are first, and first knowing who you are, girl, and God, and why you are here. So once you know first who you are and why you are here, then you'll be able to do whatever you are here to do, and then you will know how to walk out what you here to do. Then you will, because we all are kings. Every man, I believe, out here is a king. Once you come to Christ, come in Christ, you became a king, because he's the king of all kings. So they have every man, every father, especially if you're a father, you must know that you are the king of that home. You're the king. So that's where it starts. So every king have to first know how to rule. If you a father, you got to know how to rule a home. Even the Bible says, how can a man rule his own home? So that right word rule is in it. So, kings rule, so we have to first rule our homes. And first we have to rule our emotions, even rule our mindsets, even rule our walk or where we go about. We just have to rule over some things. So that way I would start at by letting them know you got to know who you are first.
Oh, that's good, man. Jamal, you got something, brother?
Man, he took everything I was going to say, man. I swear, man. Like, I don't know if there's anything I can say behind that, man. But I mean, I'll try. I mean, I was honestly
you got something. You got something. We got a head.
Man, look, I was honestly going to say, well, we got to identify ourselves first.
There you go.
I mean, I can't put it no better than what Jules said, man. But I definitely think that men have to be able to have a platform or a space, a safe space where they can express themselves, because a lot of times we don't know what we're doing. We got too much pride that we don't want to ask them, reach out for help, or we might not. Somebody who can help us, we might not want to say anything because we don't like them, or we don't want to have to deal with them. Man, it's amazing what you have to go through just to get to. Like it's overwhelming. But like a lot like what Jules said, man, we got to discover. We need to identify ourselves, but even so, identify the problem.
That's good.
Whatever the problem is, identify it, give it a name, describe it, understand it, study it, and I mean, like I said, like look at it in the mirror so you can confront it, and you can really deal with it. And if you can't, don't be so prideful not to ask for help, like, because no one does anything all on their own. Like nobody. I had plenty of help. And like I said, like the men I mentioned earlier, man, I had a lot of role models I could look up to, I'm saying? Like, even like I said, my brother growing up, my oldest brothers, my two older brothers, Gerard and Jason, the ones I lived with, it's a lot I learned from them, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot that can be learned. That's a lot that can be taught, but I think sometimes we get in our own way. But as far as encouraging fathers today, man, like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to give up the old things, because I mean, when I don't do what I did when I was 21, like, listen, I don't dress how I dressed at 21, because I mainly work clothes. I'm mainly because I'm too busy working.
Yeah,
working. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, we putting plans together for a business, and I can't do that if I'm running the street, or if I got to, go unwind, drink a beer, and shoot pool. I can do that. I can like if I don't need it, I don't do it. Like, just, and it's not as easy as it sounds. And I was willing to be ridiculed, to be mocked, to be talked about behind my back. With friends and family or people I hold near in my heart. I was willing to accept it, but I didn't care what was said and done, because at the end of the day, everything that I needed to do, I filtered out. I took what I needed and I cast out everything that I didn't. So I think, man, we need to be willing to help one another, and just, hey, brother, man, look, I need help with this, man. I don't know what I'm doing, and your position don't matter, your status in the world don't matter when it comes to being a parent. The kids don't care. Your wife don't care. So what's up for the family? What can you do for the family? What are you doing for the family? One thing my wife never got to worry about is me sitting up at home all day, waiting on her to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna put that stress on her. Look, my steel toes stay on.
Yeah.
Stay on, man. If I'm not at work working, I'm at home working. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's more work at home than it is at your actual job. Like, sometimes I try to go to work so I can take a break sometimes. But I mean, it's a charge and it's an order for men to do these things. And
Right.
like I never judge those who come short because, like I said, I've come short. And
Yeah.
it goes back to that forgiveness. Like I forgave plenty of people, and they didn't know I forgave them. I couldn't forgive them in their faces. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. And who knows, if I offended someone, maybe they did the same for me. But
Right.
in essence, I think we need to identify the problem and have a common goal to come together and say, hey man, if you don't know how to do this, maybe this is the way you need to go, or like this is what you need to do. Because the mistakes I made, if I see it happen with somebody else, I don't have to know them. I don't have to know them, because the man who helped me, he didn't know me. The man who saved my the man who saved my life, he didn't know me. He saw a gun, pointed at me, and he intervened. And it was just like, man,
Wow.
like, what made him do that? I got curious, like, what made him do that? What really made him do that? He don't know me, but
Wow.
things like that, and I never saw the guy again. I never saw him again.
When
Never
did this
saw him.
happen? When did this happen? Like, how old were you?
And I was maybe 16 or 17. I was working at Bible, coming home from work. I done got roughed up by a cop. Just walking. I fit the description in my work clothes, walking home from Bible. So I mean, I said, okay, I'm black. I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this encounter happened after that. I'm shooken up by that, and here comes this other situation. Just on the cats on the block. Just doing what they do, and I'm like, look, I don't like walking through a bunch of people I don't know. Like, I just don't. Like, especially at that age.
Yeah.
I did it because I had to get home. It was a situation of pride, so on and so forth. And this man never met and never saw again, intervened and possibly prevented something from happening that could have gone south really, really, really bad.
Right.
I've never told no one that story. Not even my mother, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want her to worry about me too much, because she already had too much going on.
Yeah.
I started walking the other way, the long way. I got up like 15 or 30. I went the long way to save it, But yeah, man. I think as men, we gotta understand that it's okay not to know. It's okay not to know, and it's okay to ask for help, because, like I said, Townsend, man, you were young, but I saw how you commanded the room with your smile, with your energy, with your information, and with your ability to gather people around and help people focus on one thing. I understand it, because I remember when we first got in the business together, you told me, you said the business part, the instructions are simple, but the work you got to do, that's the hard part. And I'll never forget that. We was in another business partner's house on Rivers. You said, the business is easy, but the work, that's the hard part. But I think being a man, it's not as easy as it was back in the day. Just go to work, bring home the bacon, the lady take care of the house. The women, they there, if not even more. So what do I have to do? What do I have to do to be a man to get up and down? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but throw pride away. Don't be afraid to ask for help, man.
Man. Y'all said something powerful. You was about to say something?
Oh yeah, I just was going to just encourage you. All the years that I have known you, I love the maturity, that's in you.
Yeah.
That's by being that young. I always love the maturity in you. You don't find young men your age that today, what I'm saying, with that much maturity and that much wisdom. You see them, not judging them, but that, like I said, that they don't know who they are. They'll use the B word, the F word, what I'm saying? That's all pants sagging, what I'm saying? It's like, you got to come up from that mindset, man. So that mindset, when I see a young man, what I'm saying, sagging his pants, I already know what his mindset at. I already know what his mindset at.
It's there. It's there. It's a mentality that, almost like, because it's almost like you when you're in that situation, you're not really at your true self. Number one, like you have to become a version of yourself that's strictly there for survival purposes. So what I feel that how we can help our brothers that are out there, like help them understand that like you can be another version of yourself. You don't just have to survive, but you can thrive. Like I'm picking up some key pointers that you guys said, like, really like Jude said, like knowing that, they have a destiny and they have a purpose, like know themselves, know that they don't have to be a part of the crowd. Like Jamal said a portion of that, like that kind of resonated with me. Like walking through those crowds, putting yourself in those situations. Like I grew up in a situation where, I would get gang because I was always the youngest person in the area. And my mom would make me go out there and fight. Like she just would say, "Look, we know now we gotta go out there. I gotta go out there and throw some hands with you. Let's go right now." Like, you know what I mean? So, those were tough times, but I thank God for that level. And that's what I try to do with my kids. Like my kids now, they see nowhere close to the amount of resistance. Listen, they fight over Xbox, they fight over Nintendo Switch,
snacks.
Oh, we ran out of snacks. I'm like, okay, you ran out of snacks and you crying? Okay, no, let me take you where you came from. All right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, that's how that's my concern for this next generation, that we must like the vision, man, like the shirt, man, bro, get up. Like this is the time for our men to get up and lead, get up and rule, like my brother Jude mentioned, like rule the home, like be that example. I'm tired of seeing, my brothers behind their family when they're walking, like, in the form of disgrace, like in the form of, oh yeah, that's my baby mama, or yeah, that's like, no, like be proud that you are a family man. Be proud, like it is the cool thing, like it is the lit thing, is like they say nowadays. Like, it is the thing that solidifies you as a man, that you are able to protect, and that you're able to provide, and that you're able to give vision to your people and to your family. Like that is what's in. Anything other than that is lame. Anything other than that is uncalled for, man. So yeah, man, that's what it is, man. It's just I wanted to get on here, bring a conversation. We got a lot of people that really gave some comments, man. Brothers, man, I really do appreciate, y'all feedback, man. What do y'all think about this conversation?
It was needed.
I was about to say the same thing. It was needed,
Yeah,
definitely, man. Well, man, that's it, man. Like, listen, guys, look, I got a go ahead, Jude.
I just want to say, your words, Jamal, his words encouraged me, lift me up, I took in what he said, I took in what you say, so hey, that just helped me out, what I'm saying, in my walk, in my marriage, in my home, so yeah, hey, that's another level for me.
Another level, yes, sir.
Another level, man. So, man, appreciate y'all, man. And also, man, I got the shirts, brother. Y'all see the shirt? I got the shirts over there, man. Bro, get up. It's a vision that I see a lot of men out there, man, that can really take advantage of that, man, of the vision. And you can definitely go pick that up, man, at nextlevelmerch.com. Make sure you grab a shirt or something, man, and really support the vision. But man, listen, fellas, we got to do this again. We got to do this again. We got to set this up again. I feel that this is very effective, man. And make sure you guys share it, man. I know it's gonna be able to help some people out there who are discouraged in the midst of chaos, man. So are there any questions before I let these brothers go back to their family? I'm gonna open it up for questions real quick, and then we'll close out. Any questions out there? Drop a question. If you got a question for my brother Jude or Jamal, this is the time right now. This is the time right now. Any questions? Man, Jamal, man, she 14. Man, I remember when she been that man.
Y'all remember? Y'all remember? Yeah, 14.
14, man.
14. Yeah.
Time
That's
flying.
Time
Yes,
flying, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's any questions, man. But fellas, thank you for your time, and I'm praying that the Lord restores the time that you've invested with me, and for the people out there on Facebook and YouTube, man. So be blessed. I'll be reaching out to you guys very soon, hopefully to do another one, man. But y'all be blessed, man. I'll be praying for you and your family.
Likewise, man.
You too.
Likewise, man. Brother Jewel, man, it was a blessing to hear from you too, man.
You too, Jamal. Good seeing you too, man.
Always, man. My brother.
All right.
Always.
Man. Love y'all, man. All right.
Not my love, man.
All right, y'all.
All right.
All right, y'all.
All right.